for allowing me to organize this particular workshop on CV writing. So it is one of the pertinent topic to be discussed amidst IR 4.0, because I was just going through different kind of articles for this particular workshop. So nowadays the average time an HR spend per CV is near about 7 seconds to 10 seconds. It may goes up to maximum 2 minutes to 3 minutes, not more than that. So understand how much time an individual HR can give for your CV to evaluate you, to shortlist you or not to shortlist you for the interview. So that is the reason we must be very cautious while drafting our CV, because that is the first interface between you means the employee, prospective employee, or the applicant and the organization. So based on the your CV, the company decides that whether they are going to shortlist you for the interview. Maybe a candidate may be having excellent skill set in doing the job, but if his or her CV does not project the same, so probably the company would be missing out of a talent, and the employee or the prospective employee or the applicant losing out an opportunity. Why? Because of an CV which may not be liked by the organization. We'll be discussing in our today's session that there is a concept of nowadays application tracking system. That means where AI is generally shortlisting the CV. Now understand, if a system is shortlisting the CV, they are already having some inputs. Based on that only they are going to evaluate the CV. It is not a human eye or human being is going to shortlist the CV nowadays in most of the cases. So if my CV is not compliant with the kind of information the AI or the system is looking for, maybe the system is not going to shortlist my candidature. So that is the reason there are certain, there are various things to be discussed about the CV, but in today's session, I have jotted down a few of the tips and the tricks that you may utilize for developing your CV. So the objective should be, you should be able to clear the first round of shortlisting, because having a excellent CV does not guarantee that you will be getting a job, but definitely it will increase your chances of getting shortlisted for doing the interview. So that is also important, because until and unless you are not getting shortlisted for giving the interview, you are not having a chance to showcase your talent in front of the employer. So that is the first step to get a job, is to get shortlisted. So in order to get shortlisted, you need one of the basic things that is called the CV. So that's why today this IIARI has organized this particular event or national webinar on this CV writing. So that's a wonderful opportunity all of you are getting. So those who are watching, so please if you want, you can just note down these points that we are going to discuss today. Probably that is going to help you out to develop a CV for yourself. So probably just give me a moment. I'm just opening my slides. Yeah. Okay. So I hope all of you can see the screen. Anyone if can respond that whether you can see the screen?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, fine. Now I'm just getting into directly the points. I'm not. I have already given you the brief introduction why the CV is important. So that's why I'm just directly getting into the point that how to develop the CV best. As I was discussing, recruiters spend only around 7 seconds initially for screening a resume. If the shortlist, then probably they can go through the entire CV. So, but initially they take a decision whether they are going to shortlist you or not to shortlist you within the first 7 seconds. So that's why your CV plays a very important role. So the first point is keep it simple. We always like, as I'm belongs to the teaching fraternity, whenever I'm checking a paper, I always looking for simple languages, simple, straightforward answer, nothing complicated. It will be easier for me to evaluate the paper and give the marks. If you are writing unnecessarily, pages after pages, this is going to irritate that particular evaluator. So similarly, if you are writing CVs of 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages onwards, it is going to irritate your HR. Initially they don't require that much of information. So a fresher, I hope maximum of you may be a fresher level candidate. So a fresher level CV must be of 1 page, not more than that. So first one is keep it very simple. Number 2 is the bullet points, the basic points that you are going to discuss, that you are going to portray to the HR, based on which they are going to shortlist you. So keep using bullet points. Definitely, we are going to showcase some of the standard format. Then you will be like, say for example, you are applying for a marketing position. Okay, you are applying for a marketing position. Now in marketing position, the common skill sets that is required, say for example, a negotiation skill, presentation skill, communication skills. So if I'm a recruiter, if I'm looking for a marketing person, I must be looking for a person who is having an excellent communication skill, presentation skill, negotiation skill, customer orientation. These kind of words I'm looking for. Maybe in the marketing, one of the very important term is field job, field visit, team handling, dealer distributor relationship. So if these kind of words are mentioned in the CV, automatically that will attract the attention of the HR or the recruiter. Yes, I am looking for a person who is having excellent communication skill, who has already handled, say for example, dealer distributor network, who has experience in handling the team of sales executive. He has no problem in field visit because he is already doing different kind of field visit activities. So definitely these kind of words, if you are using in a marketing job, definitely that is going to be very much useful. Say for example, you are applying for a teaching job. So in a teaching job, what are the skill sets that is required? Again, the good communication, presentation skill, question paper development. This is one of the major important job. Are you comfortable in developing question paper? Are you comfortable in evaluating the answer script? So these are the terminologies a recruiter who is actually hiring in the recruitment, in the education domain, they are looking for this kind of keywords. So similarly, the job you are applying for, you need to understand what are the keywords they must be looking for. An entry-level management trainee job or a junior executive job, the basic skill sets of the keywords definitely would be the office automation tools, or say for example, Microsoft Office products like the Microsoft Office, the Word, Excel, PowerPoint. So like in Excel, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, pivot table. So these are the keywords. If I'm looking for an office executive or a junior executive person, I am looking for a person who is having this kind of skill set. So automatically, if you are writing these keywords in your CV, so there are, your chances of getting shortlisted for the interview would be higher. So we need to understand what are the keywords for the job you are applying for. So that is the reason, we'll be discussing it on probably on the latter stage of our latter stages of our discussion. But remember that whenever you are developing CV for a particular job, you have to customize it. You have to tailor it as per the requirement. You just cannot use the same CV where you are applying for a marketing executive and then in the next day you are applying for an HR executive. In the next day you are applying for an account executive. In the next day you are applying for a TCS job as a back office executive or the process associate or a process developer. You cannot, because in the different jobs, different kind of skill sets are required. So definitely in the different, if the different jobs require different skill set, so definitely for the different skill set, different of keywords are required. So that's the reason, remember to customize your CV, tailor your CV as per the requirement of the job. So that you need to remember. So first 3 points, remember, that is the keep it simple. Number 2, use bullet points. And the number 3, use the keywords. Next, as we are discussing in the last point, customize for the jobs. Based on the the job you are applying for, customize everything. Like say for example, experiences. You have a experience in marketing. Now you are applying for a job in HR. Now, of course, the whole marketing experiences would not be useful in the new HR job. So you need to identify in your marketing job, what are the HR related jobs you have done. Like say, for example, in the marketing job, you have done team hire, recruitment, you have hired your team member. So that's a part of recruitment. Probably you have conducted certain kind of orientation program, training program for your employees. That's a part of the training and development. Probably your managers or the HR used to ask you about the performance of the employee, used to evaluate the performance, then used to give a report to the HR. So actually you have done your HR, performance evaluation as well. Similarly, sometimes you are motivating the employee, sometimes you are counseling the employee. So you need to understand what are the HR related job you have actually done in your marketing job, because whenever you are applying for the marketing HR job in the next time, so if you are explaining what are the marketing things you have done and etc., probably that is not relevant. So I need to talk about something relevant, right? So that is the reason you need to customize the CV, for different jobs you are applying for. Next one is the very important, is the highlighting the achievements. You may be having different sorts of achievements in your life, in your sports, maybe in the sports, maybe in the dancing, maybe in the singing, maybe in the corporate, anywhere you are having a lot of achievements. But you need to identify what are the achievements that may be beneficial, useful, or liked by my present or future, I mean the future employer. So that you need to identify, yes, they are hiring for this particular position, so these are the achievements maybe suitable for that. That you need to identify. You should not give all the achievements. All the achievements may not be relevant for the jobs you are applying for. So that's the reason. So you need to highlight the achievements. Definitely we are going to highlight, but those achievements which are relevant for the job, as we are talking about the customization of your CV for every job. Okay. Next one is the active verbs or the action verb. We'll be discussing. I have prepared a set of chart words that you may be utilizing. Okay, so usage of the active verbs is very important. Action verb, you can say. Like say for example, you want to communicate, or you want to tell you are having excellent communication skill. Now you can write, I am having an excellent communication skill, but rather if you are writing your experiences, it may be an internship experience, it may not be a full-time experience. But if you are using certain kind of action verb, like I have addressed 30 dealers and distributors during my internship period in a particular workshop where I have communicated the following things, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means you have the skill set of addressing masses, I mean multiple number of people in a single go. That means you are having a very good public speaking skill set. So that you need to identify. So that is the concept of the using the active verbs or the action verbs. So those action verbs differ from skill set to skill set. I have prepared a chart I'll be showing you, but you will be finding action verb. We are having Google ChatGPT available. You just search action verb for this particular position. Automatically you will be getting those kind of action verbs. Use those. I have prepared a slide on action verb for certain kind of skill set I'll be showing you. But remember, we need to use the action verb. So in this slide, whatever the things we have learned, number one, customize your CV for different jobs. I mean, you should not use the same CV for different jobs, for different skill set. You need to highlight the achievements, whatever your achievements is, or whatever the achievements are, and usage of the action verb. Next one is very important. Quantify your work. You just cannot say I have done my internship in XYZ company in the HR department. What you have done? What is your achievement? So you need to quantify your work. During my internship, I have the opportunity to interview 150 candidates, where I have been able to shortlist 50 candidates, out of which 20 have been offered a job, and out of the 20, 15 people have joined. So that is your success, that out of the 150 candidates, you have been able to close 15 positions. So that is the concept of the quantify your work. Similarly, in the marketing jobs that you have handled, 20 dealers and distributors, out of which 5 dealer and distributors were newly recruited by you. So that's your achievement, that you have created 5 new dealer or the distributor for your organization. So that's called the quantify of your work. It's just not the qualitative statement that I have done this, I have done that. So quantify it so that the people can understand what is your ultimate achievement, because people understand numbers. Okay, so if you give those numbers, so that will automatically attract that, okay, this person has developed 3 different dealers and distributors of their own. Maybe 3 sounds like very small, but being an intern, being a fresher, developing 3 new dealers and distributors, not very less number, right? It's a good achievement. So that you need to do. So you need to quantify your work in your CV. Don't just give only qualitative statement. Next one is keep it polished. That means you need to check the basic corrections and grammar, basic corrections in the spelling. There should not be any spelling on the grammatical mistake, because if the HR found any grammatical or the spelling mistake in your CV, automatically that will create a very negative impression about you, right? So that's the thing. So that's why, because nowadays a lot of tools are available like Grammarly, it is free of cost, that is available. Check your script, check your CV. Is there any grammatical mistake? Is there any spelling mistake? Check it. Okay, then send it, right? So that's the thing. So keep it polished. So that is very important. So these are the tips, basic tips that we have discussed. That is probably the 8 tips we have discussed as of now. So just recap quickly. Keep it simple. Quantify your work. Use active verbs or the action verb. Highlight the achievement. Customize for the job. use of the keywords, bullet points, and keep it simple. So this is the first stage of our today's discussion. Then we'll be coming to our next stage. So in this stage, probably you have understood this 8 tips. If you are using these tips, definitely rest assured, you will be able to develop a good CV that is going to attract the attention of your recruiter. So it will be increasing your chances of getting shortlisted. But please remember, developing the very excellent CV does not ensure that you are going to crack the interview, you'll be getting the job. So preparing for the interview is a separate thing. So definitely in some other session, this institute IIARI definitely going to organize the same. We are going to discuss about the same, how to prepare for the interview. Today we are discussing about how to create an effective CV so that our chances of getting shortlisted would be higher. Okay. Now, in a very small issue, yeah, definitely, somebody have written some softwares or the tools that are available to create a CV. Definitely, we are going. That is in my slide. We are going to discuss about the same. Number one is professional email. That is a very silly things I have watched in some of the freshers CV specifically. Unprofessional email ID is a big no. Like, say, for example, somebody's name is Rahul Jadhav and his email ID looks like or sound rahul.rocks@gmail.com. This kind of email ID is, that shows your unprofessionalism. You are not professional, right? So that shows. So you should avoid this kind of email ID for your resume specifically. You may be having this kind of email ID for your personal purpose. That's absolutely fine. But for the professional purpose, you must be having a professionally sound, professionally looking email ID. That is rahul.jadhav.92. Probably you need to add some extension. Sometime if your like say ideal is rahul.jadhav@gmail.com, but probably you may not be available, right? Somebody else have taken. So that's the reason you have to use this rahul.jadhav, maybe your year of birth 92@gmail.com. Maybe the last 2 digits of your phone number, anything. Try something where your name should be there in the email ID. So that sounds great, and it is easier for the HR also to find. As I say, for example, you have been shortlisted, they wanted to find. So they will be typing Rahul Jadhav, they will be getting that. I mean, this your email. So it's always easier, right? So let's go to the next slide. Just give me 1 minute. Yes. Now the unnecessary design, as in the very first line we have discussed in our first level of discussion, that keep it simple. So unnecessary design features is a big no. Okay, keep it simple. I'm just sharing an yesterday's example that one of the renowned bank HR was asking for some CVs from me, from my students, actually, for my students. So I have shared some of the CV to that bank HR. So immediately he returned back and told that some of the CVs they cannot proceed because it have unnecessary designs, and they are using an ATS, that is the application tracking system. So probably that is not going to shortlist those kind of CVs. So they have advised us, why don't you ask your students to make a very simple format CV? So that's the thing. So that's why unnecessary design, unnecessary pictures should be avoided. But it does not mean you are not going to use any modern formatted CV. I'm definitely going to show at the end of our session some of the sample CV. Definitely that is going to help you out to develop a better quality CV. Now the next thing is the home address. Generally, sometimes we used to give it the detailed home address, like the say for example, if I have seen some CV like what is your police station, what is your post office, and the long thing. So you don't have to give it. You just give the basic information, your your city, your state, and the zip code. Like Kolkata, if you are from Kolkata, then in Kolkata, West Bengal, Calcutta 41. That's it. Okay, you don't have to give the detailed home address. So if you are getting shortlisted during the address verification, definitely they are going to ask for your Aadhaar card or any address verification document. They can get the address. So at the beginning, you don't have to clutter your resumes page with these things. I mean the detailed address. So give the basic things: your city, your state, and the zip code or the pin code. Now the resume objective, that is very important. Sometimes it is a very cliche kind of thing. Sometimes you are giving a very generic kind of objective, like want to become a successful management professional in a reputed organization. So it's a very age-old thing. So like say for example, if you can see the box with a cross mark, that looking for opportunities that will allow me to leverage my skills. It's a very common commonly used kind of document, I mean the objective. So instead what you can do is you can write about your relevant qualification and the career achievements that makes them want to hire you. So that you need to identify that what are the skill set they are looking. Okay, they are looking for Microsoft Excel skill, so include that. Okay, include that. They are looking for somebody who is having the field sales executive, include that, right? So that is the idea. I mean, there is an objective is the first thing, mainly after your name and the address they are seeing. I mean, the HR recruiter are seeing. So if you write an catchy objective which actually hit in their mind about their requirement, I'm looking for a person who is very good in Excel. So in the subject objective itself you have written, I'm looking for somebody who is having field sales executive. You have written in the very okay, fine, he's comfortable, he is into this field sales executive. Dealer distributor network relationships, you have mentioned that in the objective itself. So definitely whenever I'm seeing the CV, so it will attract, okay, fine, then this candidate can be called for the interview because he is matching whatever we are looking for, right? So this resume objective is definitely one of the important tool. Next, very, very important is the personal social media profile. You should not include any social media link in your CV which contains many, unnecessary, unprofessional, personal content, right? So that's the thing. Either, there are two options. Either create every social media account very, very professionally with all professional information, or create some professional social media account like in the LinkedIn, or if you are from IT or this background like the GitHub. So you can use this kind of social media profiling, create it and give those social media link to in the resume, because you need to understand, if you are giving LinkedIn this kind of profile, they are going to check. Okay, they are going to check, they are going to validate. So that you need to be very much careful. The social media account where some unprofessional personal content are there, you should be avoiding that. So that is the fundamental thing you should be remembering. Okay, so create some professional content, professional social media content, like say for example in a LinkedIn, so give that LinkedIn ID. So that's better. Okay. Okay, just someone seeing that I'm not okay. All of you can see the PowerPoint. One person is seeing that he's not able to see the PowerPoint.
Yes, it's visible.
This PowerPoint is visible, right?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, next one is the irrelevant accomplishments or awards. You may be getting a lot of awards and accomplishments and the certifications from different parts of your life, like but we need to identify, as we have discussed earlier also, we need to identify which accomplishment, which achievement, which certifications are relevant for the job you are applying for. Use that. Like say for example, you have given that first position in the college in the dance competition. Rather, if you are able to use the leader team of 5 in an AI development competition and won the first prize. I have participated in the hackathon and we have been into the final. Maybe you have not won, but you have been to the final. So that is your achievement, right? So these are the things. So I understand something, HR recruiter are looking for information which are relevant to their requirement. Understand that very clearly. Okay. So if your information is matching with their requirement, definitely they are going to shortlist you. So that we need to understand that the job you are applying for, in that particular job, what are the skill set, or what are the achievements, what are the accomplishments, what are the awards, what are the certification that may be relevant. So that is very, very important. So unnecessary giving some irrelevant information only the increase the clutter in the pages, rather use some relevant awards, accomplishment and the certification. So that is very important. So from that part, actually we can get into some other topic discussion, like regarding the certifications and all. Go for certifications which are relevant. It should not be like that some certifications are available free of cost in the internet, so let's go for that certification. If that is not valuable for you, then there is no use. So understand, based on your domain, it may be engineering, management, anything. or any normal degree courses, you need to understand for your kind of the kind of jobs you are looking for, kind of companies you are applying for. And some relevant awards that you can include. So that's the thing. So you may be thinking that, you know, I have this accomplishments, awards, or something, what to do with that. So you need to identify that for your kind of job, what are the skill sets, what are the accomplishment that is required. Now it is very next point is very simple. That is the silly fonts. You should not use this kind of, you can see the cross mark. That is, this is a very silly font. Use a proper standard Times New Roman font. That's the simple idea. As simple as that. So sometimes they used to highlight, sometimes they used to create some italics. So that is unprofessional. So use a good font, professional font, right? The font we have given, so you can use that. So don't use silly fonts. Next one is the, at the time of hobbies, giving irrelevant hobbies and the interest like in the accomplishment or the certifications we are discussing. So similarly, in the irrelevant hobbies are making no sense actually. Like the watching TV serials, traveling, watching sports, may not be, you need to again understand that what are the hobbies may be relevant. So use that. Of course, you are not going to write something false information. Of course, if you are having those kind of hobbies, then only you are going to write, otherwise not. But you need to identify that what are relevant hobbies, like, so that you need to give, like the machine learning, robotics, chess, etc. So which may be relevant for your position, which may help you. It is may not be directly related to the job, but however, that is going to help you out to develop as an individual. Okay, so that's why this is important. So machine learning, robotics, chess. But again, I'm telling it is not about you have to write something professional, so you're writing, but actually you are not doing anything. You have not done anything on that, so automatically that is going to create a false position at the time of interview if you are getting shortlisted. If they ask you about machine learning, if you are not able to answer, so automatically your candidature would be cancelled, right? As you are giving a false information. So in the CV, one of the most important thing you should remember, you should give always the right and the correct information. Remember, like say for example, some students used to do that, they have scored say 59%. Now the company is looking for 60%. So that's why you have written. So it's a matter of 1%. So you have written 60%. They have shortlisted you. Now at the time of document verification, they are found 1%. That's fine. But getting shortlisted by false information is not at all advisable, because in the latter stages, if they found there is a information is false, you have probably given only one false information, but it will depict that you have given all the information false, right? So that's the thing. Don't give any false information in your CV. Whatever is correct, you should be giving that, right? So that's the idea. But so in that case also, you need to identify what is your relevant hobby. So don't have to give irrelevant hobbies. You need to identify what kind of hobbies you are having and which can be relevant. You need to write that in proper articulation. Like say for example, you are applying for a content developer job, okay, content developer job, and now you are having also an YouTube channel, okay. So rather you can you are a content creator in YouTube, so definitely that is going to help you out. This is a good, relevant kind of hobbies or the interests, right? So that's the idea. So you should remove the irrelevant hobbies. Now let us go into a specific summary, like some points which you should remember of specifically in 2023. Some first point is the keep it concise. As I've told, HR only spend average 7 seconds. It may goes up to 1 minute, 2 minute maximum, not more than that. Don't think that they are going to spend more than 1 minute. It would be within 1 minute. So keep it concise. Number 2 is highlight your achievement, of course, relevant achievement. Whatever the relevant achievements you are having, you should be highlighting. Next one is the tailor your resume that we have discussed from the very first slide, that you need to customize your CV. You need to tailor your CV as per the requirement of the job. Whatever the jobs you are applying for, if you are applying, you need to customize the CV that we have discussed in details. Use powerful languages, the skills, the expertise, the achievements you are having. You need to use that. The articulation matter. That means what you are saying and how you are saying is very, very important, right? What you are saying and how you are saying is very, very important. Like sometime, I have asked one candidate that what is your job profile during the internship? They told that nothing. Nothing means something you have done. Well, yes, calling people, telecalling. Okay. Now I asked that what is your objective of telecalling? She told that getting new customer. So I asked that, have you got the customers? So he told that yes, I have got few customers. So what you have actually done? You have done customer acquisition. So if you are using the term customer acquisition, so it's a very, very important job, because the company survived because of the customers. So you are doing a very important job, but you are actually in the CV, you have written telemarketing, and in the interview also, you are just telling that nothing I have done. I have so actually you are not giving importance to the job you are doing, right? So that's the thing. Use powerful language. And I was into the customer acquisition team, where I have interacted with 150 customers, out of which there are 20 customers who have purchased the product because of my interaction. So that's the thing. You are doing a tremendously important job for the organization, because say for example, one of the handset manufacturer, in the mobile phone handset manufacturer is Apple, right, in the world. But think that they are developing an excellent machine, I mean this handset, mobile phones and etc., but their marketing team is not being able to sell that. Do you think that the Apple company will survive? No. The answer is no. If you are not able to ensure your customer acquisition process constant, you cannot survive. So that's why you are doing a very, very important job. Why you are not telling that? So that's why a powerful language, your articulation is very important. What you are saying and how you are saying. So you must be careful in selecting the languages that will either create a very good image about you, either they will break that image. So that's the idea. That is the use the powerful languages. While you are drafting the CV, and of course, a modern design, and some of the design definitely we are going to discuss. Now, as we are talking about CV, so whenever you are sending CV in the online mode or through email, drafting a cover letter is very important. Sometimes you are creating an excellent CV, but when you are sending the CV, I have seen so many times that the people are saying, it is clearly written in the job advertisements, interested candidates, send your CV to the following email ID. So actually the people are following the instruction. They are just sending the CV. That means they have copied the email ID, put it in the tab, and attach the CV and click on the send button. That's it. There is no subject line. There is no body, right? So that's why you have to be very careful in writing a cover letter while you are actually sending an email to the HR by attaching the CV. So just sending the CV, it shows you are too casual to apply for the job. That shows that you are really not interested to invest some 4 or 5 minutes of time to apply for the job. That means you are not giving importance to the company, you are not giving importance to the job. So the HR is not going to give importance to you by shortlisting the CV. So understand. So whenever you are sending the CV, you must be very, very careful about writing a proper cover letter. So in order to write a proper cover letter, what you have to do, you have to research the company and the job opening. Like the company is looking for, say for example, a HR executive. Okay, this is the job description. Understand that. Go to the company website, understand the company profile, understand the job profile. Then format the cover letter, draft a compelling introduction, showcase your relevant skills and expertise, highlight your unique selling points, express your enthusiasm and the fitness for the job, end with a strong closing, and proofread and edit. So these are the basic things you need to do. You need to write, articulate the cover letter in a way, because the first thing, at least, I know that the HR would not be reading the whole cover letter, but they are going to identify the gist. Say, for example, you have written that I am a BCom graduate, followed by I have done my MBA in marketing, having done internship in a FMCG company. So you have written these things, and that will attract me. Okay, the BCom, MBA, FMCG. So internship. So that matches. So let us open the CV. Now, if you are not writing anything, so I'll not be able to understand what you are all about. I mean, for which profile you are applying or something, or what is the credentials you are having. So probably I may be losing interest in opening the CV. Understand? You have sent the CV, you have drafted the CV very well, but they are losing interest to open up the CV because either you have not written anything in the cover letter, you have not given any subject line, or just given a casual subject line application for job. But which profile? Application for the post of HR executive. Just write that and give a very brief cover letter. So that will automatically create an image about you. Like, okay, fine, you are professional, you have drafted your cover letter in a way that is going to help you out. I mean, that can differentiate you from others. So that's why writing the cover letter is very important. So that's why I've just, cover letter writing is a separate activity. Definitely in some other classes we may discuss about that. But however, these are the basic, points you must be remembering. Now, somebody was asking about some of the tools that are freely available in the internet that is going to help you out to draft an excellent CV. So that you can check. These are the sites you can use, like say, for example, overleaf.com, Canva is there, LinkedIn Resume Builder is there, Novo Resume is also there. Then you can see JobScan there, resume.io. So there are plenty of softwares available, but one thing you should remember that sometimes some of the softwares or some of these AI tools, whenever you will be uploading your normal CV, they will be redrafting it in an excellent manner, but sometimes they will charge money to download it. So remember that, but there are many sites which are free, like the LinkedIn Resume Builder as well. So these are free. So you need to check that whether you want to pay, but sometimes you need for getting some good quality content, right? So you need to check, the whatever the sites I have given, in most of the cases these are free, but till sometimes they change their policy. So it's just a disclaimer that sometime they may charge anything, right? So that for some premium version. So these are the tools, AI tools that is available. You can use that if you want to take a screenshot of this. So all of you can take a screenshot of this particular slide, so that whenever in your free time you can check these sites and develop your CV accordingly. So these are very good tools. These are very good tools. Probably that is going to reduce your time for developing an effective CV. Action verbs we are talking about, if you can remember in your first level of discussion, we are talking about some action verbs. So these are some I have created this list. So these lists, these lists are easily available in the internet. So just for giving you an example, I have used this, like say for example, as we are discussing, if you want to showcase your communication skill, you can talk about you have to use these words in your sentences, like addressed, arbitrated, arranged, authored, co-authored, collaborated, correspondent, developed, directed, drafted, enlisted, formulated, influenced, interpreted, or mediated, and moderated, and so many words that you can utilize to showcase your communication skill. Similarly, if you want to showcase your management skill through your CV, you can use these terminologies in your writings in your CV, like administered, analyzed, assigned, chaired, consolidated, contracted, coordinated, delegated, developed, directed, evaluated, executed, organized, oversaw, planned, prioritized, produced, recommended, and so on. Similarly, if you want to showcase your teaching skill, you can use adapted, advised, clarified, coached, communicated, conducted, coordinated, and etc. for technical skill, calculated, computed, designed, devised, engineered, fabricated, maintained, operated, etc. So these are the action verbs you can use. So for any job, the basic tips is the job you are applying for, understand what kind of skill sets that they are looking for. Go to Google, ChatGPT, understand the, just search for action verb for this kind of particular position, and try to use those action verbs in your CV for applying for that specific job. That is definitely going to help you out to, get shortlisted, right? So these are the action verbs. So these are important, because we are, as nowadays we are talking about ATS enabled, that we are talking about application tracking system. AI or the software is shortlisting you, so they are actually shortlisting based on the keywords and based on the action verbs. So you have to be very, very careful about your keywords, about your action verbs. Now, as we are talking about some of the sample format of the CV, now the sample format of the CV, I have blurred some of the information. This because it's a real information. You just check the format. In this format, you can use, like, if you can see that at the top, your name, then you can give your address and the phone number. From there, you can get it, and then followed by the your objective. Then if you are having experience, work history, then followed by education. Now understand one thing, if you are a fresher, then of course at the top you must be having education. But if you are having more than 2 years of experience, you should start with your work history, because whenever you are experienced candidate, definitely you will be hired based on your experience, followed by your qualification. But if you're a fresher, you would be hired for your qualification. So that's why you had that's the chronology you need to use. And another concept is the reverse chronology. What is reverse chronology? That you have to start your education, you have to start your work history from the very recent one. Like say for example, some one of you are doing your graduation, that is you are in the final year or just completed your graduation, BCom, BA, BSc, BTech, anything. So what you have to do, the first thing you need to write is the BBA or the BCom or the BA, whatever the qualification you are having. So that you need to write how from which university, which college, how much percentage, and which year. So these are the basic information HRs are looking for. Like some companies are looking for a 2023 graduate. Some people are looking to hire 2024 passing out graduate. Some companies are looking for 2022 graduates. So that's why mentioning the year of passing is very, very important. Okay, percentage of marks is also very important. Understand, whenever you will be having multiple years of experience, probably percentage of marks, that does not matter other than in education industry, but in most of the other industries that your percentage of marks actually does not matter whenever you will be having experiences. But however, at the beginning, I mean, whenever you are starting your career, your percentage of marks matter, because through that only they can judge your candidature. So that's why mentioning the marks is important. Okay, and from which college, which university, that's also important, because they want to understand I mean, for which college, university you are. So the idea is the reverse chronology. So you have to start with the present qualification. Similarly, if you are having experience, you have to start with the present organization, followed by in the reverse chronology manner. Like if you're a recent graduate, BCom graduate, write BCom first, then followed by 10 plus 2, then followed by 10. So that's how you should be writing. Because you would be, as you are a BCom graduate, BBA graduate, BTech graduate, anything, any qualification you are having, you would be now would be shortlisted or would be hired for your present qualification, right? So that's why they want to check if you are writing 10th first. That means, they have to look for the where is the graduation degree qualification, right? Sometimes some students are making mistakes that until and unless they are completing the course, they are not mentioning. Like I have seen CVs, they have mentioned qualification 10 plus 2. I have asked that you have done only 10 plus 2. No, I have actually given the final year examination in this 2023 in BBA or the BCom. So I have told why you have not written. So they are telling that no, actually I have not completed, that's why I have not written. But if you understand one thing, if somebody is receiving your CV with the 10 plus 2, that means they will understand you are not a graduate or you are not doing any graduation degree as well, right? So that's why you have to mention that, okay, BCom 4th semester, BCom 5th semester, BBA 5th semester, engineering 7th semester, anything that you need to mention. Whatever the things you are doing, you need to very clear, right? You need to mention that. That is another format. That is also an interesting format. The picture at the top, followed by your name, your address, phone number, email ID. So these are the basic info. I like this format because if I really want to shortlist you, I can get your phone number, address at the very top. I want to email you, I can get your email ID. It's very easy to find out, right? I don't have to search in your CV where you have written your phone number, wherever written your address and all. So I can get the basic information from here. And they your qualification, okay, done. I'm looking for a BCom graduate. He has already pursuing BCom, given final semester examination in 2023, and so I can shortlist him, and I got the phone number. Let him call right now. So now, if I'm not able to find the phone number, I'll not be able to call. So okay, fine, leave it. I find some other CV which have the phone number. So understand. So that's why these are the basic information that is required. So giving your contact information at the top is always good, according to me, actually. So that is also another bullet point oriented CV sample format, starting with the, your brief description. But you can understand in both the CVs at the top, you are giving your basic information, the name, phone number, email ID, address, everything you are giving at the top. Because if they want to shortlist you, they can shortlist you, they can call you, they can email you immediately. They don't have to search, right? So these are the basic, sample format that I wanted to show you. Now, interestingly, I will be ending our today's session based on another format of the CV that is called the video CV. Nowadays, so many companies are looking for video resume. Maybe they will not be directly asking you to develop a video CV and send, but sometimes what they are doing in the interview process, they will be asking you to create a video with some basic questions to be asked. Okay, introduce yourself. Why do you want to join our company? Why should I hire you? Like 3 questions they are giving you, and you have to record a video. So if you have a ready-made video and you are having the practice of recording a video, so definitely that is going to help you out. So that's why I have just added this 2 slides on a video resume to end the session. So definitely you will be preparing this video resume once only if the employee required. It is not necessary. I mean, you will be sending the video resume of your own. No, I mean, at the beginning it is not required. If the company looking for, send it. You have an extensive resume. I mean, you have a lot of things to say. Probably you are not able to write everything. So you can prepare a video resume, and you want to personalize your application. You have some special skills that you want to showcase. So that's why. So how to prepare a good video CV? First, definitely the first important thing is write a script. So you have to write a script. What do you wanted to say? Draft a very meticulously with all the grammatical correction and all. Then prepare a filming space that where you are going to record it. Set up a recording device. That is very important, because if you are recording something, the quality of the recording device, the camera and all must be very good. And of course, it's your time. You can record it several times. Then collect the additional visuals. Additional visual means in your video, other than your speech, anything else you want to add, like your certificates, maybe your some of the achievements, photographs, or the visuals, maybe. So that you need to understand. I mean, collect the additional visuals. Then very important thing is use a professional video editor help, right? Because it's an asset. Probably the video editor would be taking some money from you if he is not your friend, or if you are not a video editor yourself. So probably they will take some money, but do it, because that is going to give revenue. I mean, benefit. Definitely, you are going to get benefited, right? If you have a good quality video, because that's an asset. Okay. So that's the idea. Then show this video to your professors, to your friends, some of the people, seniors who are working in the industry, to get the feedback, right? So these are the basic steps involved in developing the video CV, but it is not mandatory actually. But if you think, you can create one. Video resume that is focused on a specific experience of the skills, that the kind of skill set you are having, specific skill set. Discuss an element that is not in your application, dress professionally, and review your employer's guidelines, and prepare the video CV accordingly. So that's all for today. That's I wanted to discuss in this 1 hour session of today. So it's just open for any question, if any one of you are having any question.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Gupta, for this wonderful session. Now we are on for the technical sessions. If the participants are willing to have any queries, you feel free to raise your hand, or in the chat box as well, because it's going to live in our Facebook account and pages. So if you have any queries on that ground, you can write it down in your chat box as well, or raise your hand. We can just unmute yourself and you can ask Professor Gupta for your queries. While they are asking, on behalf of IIARI, it's a great pleasure to have Professor Gupta, and it's very much enduring and very much helpful. I hope the students, the participants who join in this session are very much beneficial in this round. If you have any queries, you can raise your hand, and Professor Gupta will address your queries accordingly. Yes, I got a question in the chat box. Professor Gupta, for you. He is asking, Anirban Moitro is asking, Anirban Moitro is asking, sir, what are the difference or what are the chances to get job applying AI-based CV or normal CV?
I mean, its chances are always equal. I mean, it is not that, I mean, in AI-based CV, you will not be getting shortlisted. In the normal CV, you will be getting shortlisted. It's not that. I'm just giving a funny part of it. Like in my corporate career, once upon a time, I had a designation called emerging manager, and they used to call it as GEM. So I have written my designation during my earlier days of my career in corporate. I have written the designation in GEM, and my CV was uploaded in the Naukri. And so I used to get call for the job interviews for GM, like general manager. But I was just an assistant manager at that point of time. So I was not at all eligible for these things. I mean, the general manager. But, as the software used to, track it. So they thought GEM is like GM. Like, so it happens sometime, but as we have told that for the application tracking system enabled CV or the AI enabled CV, you should be careful, because you should be using your active verbs, the action verbs, the keywords are careful. You need to choose it carefully, because nowadays many big companies are using AI enabled CV, and so that's the thing. So even in case of manual CV, I mean, when the HR people are manually shortlisting the CV. If they are not able to find out the right kind of keywords, they may not shortlist you, right? So writing the shortlist, writing the action verb, writing the keywords is the key for getting shortlisted. Whether it is a AI-enabled CV and whether it is a manual CV, it does not matter. So that's the thing. I mean, you should be follow these tips, and definitely that is going to be beneficial for both. I mean, both manual as well as AI-enabled.
Absolutely,
I
absolutely
hope I have
splendid.
answered the question.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. Absolutely. I got another question in the Facebook chat. I would like to mention his name, Zamirul Islam. He is asking how to prepare a CV for front end developer. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a specific skill set you are talking about. So it may be any skill set. I mean, you need to understand for the front end developer, check that what are the keywords, what are the action verb that is required, what are the basic tools that is required to become a good front end developer. So use those terminologies, use those terms and the action verbs in your CV, in your skill set. So that is important. Like, so that's the thing. Like if you are applying for any, say for example, a data analyst position. So definitely you need to understand what are the skill set that is required to become a successful data analyst. So what are the softwares you must be knowing? If you know that, include that. So that's the simple idea. That means you need to understand the skill sets that is required for a specific profile you are looking for, and include those skill set in your resume. That's the idea.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Professor Gupta. Another question I have in our Facebook chat, Probir Borun Sarkar, he is trying to ask, sometimes what is suggested is how much revenue has been incorporated by your efforts. Now, being a professional in such a position has no idea that how to handle the accomplishments section.
Right. It's an interesting question. As I've told you, I have given you one point: quantify your achievement. So always, I mean, the companies are looking for quantifiable achievements. So one of the quantifiable achievements for the marketing professional specifically is the revenue being generated. So you need to understand that what kind of profile you are into and how the revenue of the company can be impacted by your effort. So that you need to understand. And if you are an experienced, this kind of questions are generally being asked to the experienced professional. So if you're an experienced professional, so you need to understand that if you're not having the data, talk to your senior employees, colleagues and all, understand that how this revenue is being impacted by our effort. Like, take a simple example. Hospital. So that means though you are not directly earning money for the hospital, but you are impacting the revenue of the hospital. So that you need to understand in your particular job, how you are impacting the revenue generation of the company, and then you can tell accordingly. So if you are in a marketing or sales job, definitely it will be easier for you to tell, because you can talk about how much sales revenue or the sales volume you have sold actually, and how much revenue you have generated. But in other things, you need to understand the calculation, and then based on that you need to give an approximate idea actually how you have impacted.
Yeah, exactly, sir. On this part, I would like to add some point that Zamirul is asking another question: what to write in the experience section for freshers? Professor Gupta.
Yeah, right. You don't have any experience. That's it. I mean, you don't have to lie. If you don't have experience, write fresher. That means you don't have to include that experience point at all. Now, remember one thing, you must be differentiating between the internship and the experience. Sometimes people have done internship and they are writing that in the experience sector. Now that can create some consequences. I'm giving a practical experience with one of the IT company where some of our students got selected and they have written internship as their experience. Now, when they have joined, now the company is asking for experience letter, salary slip, PF account and all. So, but you will not be able to give it, because that's an internship. So internship and job is not the same. So if you have done some internship, create a category for internship, write about this. And if you don't have experience, don't write. That's it. Whenever you will be experienced, then you will be writing.
Exactly. On this ground, I would like to add another point that IIARI is dedicatedly offering various kind of internship in the last few years. And not only that, those people who are doing internship in our institute, in our company as well, we are getting placed those interns in our company or in our sister and brother companies. So just keep one thing, I am telling my practical experience. A few months back, I am taking an interview for my institute for a post of faculty. I took near about 200 plus positions, 200 plus CVs, and one people I shortlisted. I will not take his name because that will be not right. But I just genuinely like him. But only one thing, that is the reason why he is not associated with us right now, because of this lie. On that ground, he told that he's a freshers candidate. I don't know why he told that kind of things, but while I am questioning something that you can join by tomorrow or the next day or within a week, on that time frame, he is telling that he have to take a leave from other entity. So while I am asking why you told that you are freshers on that ground, so on that time frame, he is just fumbling and all those things. So I would also like to add these kind of things which Professor Gupta already mentioned, that don't lie anything in your CV. That is very much uh, creating a nuisance for the recruiters or the who are taking the interview. Yeah, Professor Gupta, another question I have from Geo Rocky. I don't know why, from where he is. What are the main points to highlight while writing a CV? For an example, I am a geologist. What are the key points, Professor Gupta?
Yeah, right. I mean, as I've told you, somebody else was asking about the front end developer. So you are the right person to understand the skill sets that is required for the job you are looking for. Like, say, for example, if you are a geologist, if you are applying for a geologist, then what kind of skill set or what kind of certification, what kind of experience they are looking for. So we need to write those, right? So for that's the idea. I mean, you need to understand in order to be like, say, for example, if you are a geologist, but if you are applying for a, say, for example, you have done your BSc in geology, but applying for a marketing job. So in the marketing job, whatever the skill set you have learned as a geology student, probably if it is not a geology related company, is irrelevant. So they are probably, using those kind of skill set would not be required. But if you are applying for a job which required the skill set of a geologist, so you need to understand what are the skill sets that is required and write it accordingly. That is the idea. Because for different position, different kind of skill sets are required. So you need to understand that and just point wise write those things. Like if you are applying for being a geologist, but you are applying for a banking professional job. So it does not matter. You don't have to write the geology related skill. You need to write banking professional related skills. So that's the idea. So that is how you should prepare the skill set. I mean, the job you are applying for. If you're applying for a geologist, write down the skill sets of a geologist. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Professor Gupta. Uh, I would like to take one or two more questions on that ground. The next question is from Dipanjan Dhar. He is asking, is it required to give previous experience when switching to different domain in experience section?
I mean, if I've understood the question correctly, that probably you asked that whether they should include the previous experiences in the experience section. So definitely,
Yeah.
I mean, if you are having the experiences, you have to write, because generally it is being advised if you are having less than 6 months of experiences, then probably you may like to ignore that. I mean, you may not include. But however, if you are having 6 months of experiences in 5 companies, so that means you have actually having 30 months experiences. So there you need to write, but otherwise you cannot justify that what you have done for the last 30 months. So you need to justify that, you need to inform. But if you are having this kind of issues, like you have frequently changes your job, so you have to be ready with the correct, I mean, appropriate answer to justify the same, right? But generally, if you are having only one experience which is less than 6 months, no experience certificate, no proper pay slip or the appointment letter, I mean, you cannot justify your appointment. So then it is better to avoid it. I mean, not to give it. But if it is like, say, for example, you have worked and they have created a PF account, okay? So then you have to mention, because if you are not mentioning, while creating the new PF account, the people would be able to understand that you have already worked and you have not given the information. So if in your organization, if the PF account has been opened, whatever the months of experience you have to mention it. Otherwise, you are hiding information. So you should not do that. So that's the idea actually.
Yeah, absolutely. I am just trying to understand what Dipanjan is trying to ask. So on that ground, Professor Gupta is clearly mentioned, so do not hide any kind of thing that will create some kind of miscommunications or misunderstandings in the future. So I would like to call it off for this question answer session. I hope this question answer session is very much intuitive and helpful for the participants, and I can understand that these kind of questions will come up part by part, because there are plenty of questions you have in your mind. So for that reason, IIARI is planning something more. I will come up to on that ground. But before that, I had a question from our interns team to our resource person. So, sir, can you tell me it's asking Asif, can you tell me, sir, what are the beneficial ground for AI? This is the question, sir.
Yeah, I mean, AI to artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence is nowadays in every aspect in our life. So definitely, if somebody is skilled, I mean, if sometime, in our childhood days, learning computer was mandatory. I mean, if you don't know computer, then how we can work? So similarly, now you are at the stage that why knowing the basic concept of AI or the application of AI is important, because otherwise you will not be able to survive in the industry. So that's the reason definitely artificial intelligence and related tools, whatever may be your background, it may be a technical or a non-technical background, you must be, you must be knowing, you must be having the handful experience, because in our days, if you are telling that I don't know computer, then of course that nobody would be interested to hire me. So similarly, if you don't know what is AI, what is ChatGPT, how it works, if you don't know, then you are obsolete. So if you want to be at par with the market trend, so definitely everybody has to be aware about the basics of AI, and those who are technically background people and want to establish their career in artificial intelligence itself. So of course they have to do courses and the training program in this relevant field actually.
Yeah. So thank you for these enriching speeches, Professor Gupta. On this ground, I would like to thank on behalf of IIARI for these wonderful sessions which you provided in the last few hours. It's really very much helping our students, our participants, and we hope these kind of associations and these kind of assistance we are going to have in future as well. On behalf of IIARI, I would like to thank from our core of the heart for these enriching sessions.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, and you and your organization for organizing this event. And I hope this is going to be helpful for the participants. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. On this ground, on this August gathering, on behalf of IIARI, we would like to highlight some of the key aspects which we are going to bring for you. The first one, we are going to come up with a course where a personality development courses will be there, and this kind of course will help all the participants who are facing some kind of problems during the interview, as well as another program is going to come up, that how to mock our interview. So these kind of online courses are going to come in the form of workshops, webinars, or any kind of things. So please associate with us and help yourself to overcome these kind of problems. This is our approach from IIARI. We are trying to provide this kind of courses in a free of cost, so that those people who are not able to provide money for any kind of courses, but they are trying to skill up themselves, they can easily skill up and going for the future aspect. So for these reasons, our next 2 or 3 programs will be based on how to develop personality and how to mock the interview. Apart from that, we are here to provide various kind of courses on the drone training, as well as the GIS more part. those kind of things are coming up shortly in our Facebook page and in our Facebook account as well as our website, so that you can avail those things. We are the only institute in Kolkata right now who are providing intensive drone training and drone post processing. So these kind of courses in the long term are also coming shortly. So please be with us, be with our institute, so that we can offer various these kind of courses. On the last few minutes, I would like to thank all the backend team who vigorously help us to organize these kind of uh, webinar workshops. I would like to thank our interns. I would like to thank our sales team. I would like to thank our executive teams, and most precisely our technical team who are continuously providing support for this program. And obviously our resource person, Professor Amitabh Gupta from SVIST. The we don't need any further introduction for him, and we all understood for this last 1 hour how he is dignified and how he can help our students, and we hope in the future as well he will help our students, our participants in this manner. On this round, I would like to conclude our sessions. Please be in the WhatsApp group. We are going to share the study material as well as the class recordings in the form of videos in the WhatsApp, so that you can avail those kind of things in the later on. Now it's time to say we'll meet very soon. Thank you all.